Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to News Today. We are coming to you live from our studios in Kokomlemle. We are on DTT because we are free to air on the STV channel 421 and Go TV channel 144. We are your home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism. This afternoon, firefighters spent close to 2 hours to control a fire which ravaged a two-story building near the Circle branch of the GCB Bank in Accra. We'll hear from some eyewitnesses who are blaming the incident of faulty electrical cables. Also in this bulletin, Takrady MCE pleads not guilty after appearing in court for alleged dangerous driving and assaulting a highway police officer at Kwesimintim Cemetery checkpoint. We'll tell you the outcome of today's court proceedings. Plus, today is World Cancer Day. We'll hear from the health experts on how threatening this global challenge is becoming and what individuals can do to stay healthy. And we'll be telling you aspirations of a 16-year-old physically challenged teenager who is bracing the odds to conquer his world to become a renowned footballer. We
pity him, but we are now used to him. Those outside may see it to be sad because we are with him in the house, so we feel it's normal now for us. We pity him, but we are now used to him. Those outside may see it to be sad because we are with him in the house, so we feel it's normal now for us.
My name is Aisha Ibrahim. We're also streaming live on YouTube and all our social media handles. It's at Joy News on TV. Twitter us with the hashtag News Today. My personal handle is at Nana Aisha. We have business, sports, world news, and the latest in showbiz. Please stay for details. Many thanks for choosing us. Firefighters have spent close to 2 hours to bring under control a fire which gutted a two-story building near the Circle branch of the GCB Bank. Eyewitnesses tell Joy News the fire started from the ceiling around 7 a.m. My colleague, Michael Ashali, has been there for us.
Obiama ecosystem danu eboy nwusienu APF mu we ba no amayehwe wa maye bibia ansala we ba nti we pe na abaya afide osan baye we na maye no ti enu na me beto ade bi obi enwu ye wo mu nyina obi anu ho anka bibia obi enwu ye ye obi afri pe dem wo pie agbere na me ba agbere na kana famoto ekete na
You have the eyewitnesses explaining how what may have caused the fire, and they're saying that they did not know how it all started. They just realized that the fire was blazing at that end. Let's get onto the line and speak with Papani Ashali, who's the man for us there. He's been monitoring events for us. Papani, tell us, where exactly is the story building located? All right, Papani Ashali has joined us. Papani, where exactly is the story building located? Michael, can you hear me?
Hello.
Yes, Michael. Papani, go ahead.
Yeah, so the fire, I understand from some of the occupants in the room, started somewhere around 7:15 a.m. On Friday. The occupants in the room tell me he only woke up after feeling very warm in the room. The room had just gotten warm all of a sudden. So upon waking up, he was going to go to the next room and realized that the door had caught fire, which had started from somewhere on the ceiling. So owing to that, he had decided to go for his phone, but he stopped and then moved to go and rather rescue his grandmother. So owing to his heroic act, all the family members escaped the inferno. I've been out there. Fire service came on site, and after almost more than 2 hours, they've been able to deal with the fire. Right now, what's left of the building, which has developed cracks, and again, nearly destroyed. The NADMO officials say, looking at the integrity of the building, it may collapse anytime soon, so they'll be forced to rather pull down the house. Speaking to some of the family members, they tell me that they were actually going ahead to have a funeral, which was scheduled for tomorrow. So they already had someone in the family who had died, and they were going to be burying the person tomorrow. So for this to befall them, it's very shocking for them, and has come as a surprise to them as well. The family is still counting their losses. Some of the hundreds of thousands of Ghana cedis was in the building, and they've lost almost everything. They're only grateful, especially for their grandmother, who escaped narrowly from the fire.
Now, describe the extent of damage caused by the fire, Michael.
The roof at the moment has caved in, given the extent of the fire and how long it went on for. The roof has caved in. Nearly every window on the building is now broken, and everything inside, especially for the top floor, everything on that level is burnt completely to ashes here. Really, nobody has been able to go in to take anything away. But the gentleman I spoke of earlier told me he had left his phone earlier, and he was trying to reach out to his phone, but that was not possible. The last time he tried calling, the phone had gone off. Presumably that the phone was also burnt in the fire. So the family definitely still counting their losses. A lot of items in there that they had to part way with now.
Papania Shale is our man on that beat for us. We'll still bring you updates in our subsequent bulletins. Now, the mayor of Second Day Accra, Abdul Mumin Issa, has pleaded not guilty to 3 charges leveled against him. Mr. Mumin Issa is facing charges of assault of a public officer, offensive conduct conducive to breaches of the peace, and disturbing the peace in a public place, contrary to sections 205, 207, and 298, respectively, of the Criminal and Other Offences Act of 1960, Act 29. This follows a verbal exchange between him and a highway police officer carrying out his duties at the Kwesimintim Cemetery checkpoint on Wednesday, February 2, 2022. The Accra Circuit Court, presided over by His Honor Michael Ampedu, heard his case this morning. My colleague Ina Thalia Kwanzaa was in court. She joins me now with more. Ina, what happened in court today? Bring us up to speed.
Yes, so the MC Abdul Mumin appeared before the Accra Circuit Court. He came here around 8 a.m. this morning. And then in court, he had 2 cases, I must say. The first case, which has 3 charges, and the first charge is assault on a public officer, offensive conduct, and disturbance of peace of the public. So with these 3 charges, he pleaded not guilty to the case. It was after his charges was received that he pleaded not guilty. His lead counsel, Samuel Kofi Agbata, pleaded with the judge that he should be granted bail since these 3 charges are all bailable. Yes, after a while, the judge said, okay, he's going to grant him a bail to a tune of 100,000 Ghana cedis with 3 sureties, but he's going to sign a portion to everybody. And this is what the judge said. The judge said that he was surprised to see the MC in the box in the first place, not to say that he's passing judgment that he's guilty, but he, as a public officer, he should know best, and he wouldn't expect that he would be brought in court in connection to such a case. He also said that as a court, his court will not deal lenient with anyone who is brought to court for interfering with the work of police or security officers. He says that anyone who interferes with the work of the police officer or security officer is not a friend of the country and to his court. So these are the exact words of the judge, His Honor Michael Ampedu. Aisha, just after the first case was brought down, and then we all thought we were leaving the courtroom, then they called for another case, which was also for a case brought against the MCE, Abdul Mumin Issa. And with this case, they had 2 charges. The first charge was careless and inconsiderate driving, and then the second charge was causing danger to the road. With these two charges too, the MPE pleaded not guilty to both. His lawyer again asked that he should be granted bail since both cases were also bailable. And with this particular case, he was given a self-recognized bail. So this is what happened. Aisha, the court was packed the premises, MPs from, I could count about 5 MPs within the Western region, with officials from the secondary Accra Metropolitan Assembly, residents and other people all coming there to see how the proceedings would go. Today, the court has adjourned the case and is to reappear on the 17th of March.
Now, in Athale, we understand there were 2 cases that was brought before him. I mean, tell us about the second case.
Yes, so the second case, that is where he had 2 charges, careless and inconsiderate driving and then causing danger to the road, of which the MP pleaded not guilty to these 2 charges. And that was when his lawyer pleaded that he should be granted bail on that case as well. So with that case, he was given a self-recognized bail.
All right, Inathalia Kwansa is a woman in the Western region monitoring this for us. Meanwhile, the Volta Regional Police Commander, DCOP Edward Odro Kwating, has advised personnel to be extra alert when performing duties, particularly at the barriers. His advice follows the death of a police woman who was crushed to death by a speeding driver in the Central region. The worrying trend he bemoans has attracted the concern of the police administration, hence his caution to the personnel working in that region. He urged the personnel to prioritize their safety at all times to avoid unfortunate deaths. The COP Odro Kwating also charged district commanders to ensure that personnel on barrier duties use reflectors to make them more visible to motorists, especially at night. DSP Fiatenge is a Volta Region Police PRO. She's joining us live on Zoom with more. Thanks so much, DSP, for your time. What exactly is the plan to ensure that police officers, whilst on duty, are protected?
Yes, thank you very much for the opportunity. Yes, the command specifically is worried about the trend where some drivers just run over police officers who are performing their lawful duties at our various checkpoints. And so the command yesterday embarked on a day visit to sensitize personnel on how they would be vigilant or alert and also extra careful as they perform these duties. And so, first of all, we visited some of the checkpoints and also advised for this instance.
Hello, DSP. I think we're losing DSP Fiatenge briefly. Let's try and get her back. She's actually explaining to us the plan, the police's plan to ensure that police officers who go on night patrol are protected. And it comes on the back of a policewoman who was crushed recently, and also with assaulting police officers who are executing their duties. Is DSP Fiatenge back? DSP, you were making a point as to what your plans are to ensure police officers are protected whilst on duty.
Yes, first of all, we have our rules of engagement, and we considered the officer's safety as one of our key principles. That when a police officer is performing duties, one of the things we need to look at is probably to remind ourselves of the need for officer safety. And so our safety must be paramount. In a situation where a driver approaches at a checkpoint, where sometimes we observe the behavior, the demeanor of this driver, the driver probably may be speeding, and you realize that it is likely this driver would not stop. The best thing for us to do is to probably leave the way for the driver to pass, and that there are so many ways we could get this driver arrested. And so we had to bring these to the understanding of our officers, so that we are not bent on arresting some errant or reckless drivers. And so these are some of the advice we give them. And again, we know that we are in a Harmattan period, and so some of the visibility is usually poor. And so if we do not use our reflectors, sometimes it does not also help. So we also advise personnel to also ensure that they use their reflectors, and even the crash barriers should be matched. They should all have reflectors, so that if drivers are approaching, at least they would even know that there are police officers who are manning those barriers. And again, a caution to our drivers as well. Police officers are on the street or they are on the road for our own safety. There is no point running over drivers. If you think you don't have the documents right, or if you think that you have reasons not to use that stretch, whatever it is, just stop, just go through the due process. But deciding on deliberately running over police officers, we don't think is the way to go. And for us, we believe that one life that is lost is one too many. And so drivers should also be warned.
Have you put in place measures to actually monitor these police officers whilst at work to ensure that they are actually abiding by the rules to stay safety? All right, we lost DSP Fiatenge again, but she made the point that they've been advising police officers to take their own safety into their hands, and they are also on their part ensuring that the police people execute their duties safely. The Ghana Education Service is urging parents to collaborate with the schools of their pregnant teenage girls to ensure that such girls do not drop out of school. According to the GES, the dropout rate of girls keep increasing as teenage pregnancies surge in many of the regions in the country. Now, speaking at the distribution of laptops to junior high school teachers in the Central Region, Regional Director of Education, Mato Wusu Ajaman, suggested more effort should be made to ensure pregnant girls stay in school until their delivery date. Richard Kwejanyako has more.
The Ghana Education Services worry stems from the fact that there is a surge in the dropout rate of girls. In the Central Region alone, nearly 11,000 teenage girls were pregnant in 2020 alone, a figure that has left many worried. At the distribution of 8,973 laptops to junior high school teachers in the Central Region, Central Regional Director of Education, Mato Uswajaman, indicated a collaboration between parents and the school could do the trick in keeping such girls in school, even though they are pregnant.
The dropout rate with the girls, I think, is higher in the region than the boys, and we are sensitizing them. When they deliver to, they come back and continue. If they get somebody, parents should take the babies and take care of them whilst the young mother attends school. So we are sensitizing, and last year there were a lot of activities to educate stakeholders about this. It is a collaboration between the home and the school. But you know, most of the schools, all the schools, are they, so far as the basic level is concerned.
District Director of Education for Abrasibu Kwaman Kese, Justina Appel, wants recipients of the laptops to use them to positively affect learning outcomes.
To make the learning of ICT functional, there is the need for the provision of the needed facilities. My question here is that, who is responsible to provide, protect, maintain ICT facilities? I'm taking this opportunity to urge all teachers to take good care of these laptops so that it can always be available all the time to teach our children and also learn out of it.
The laptops were distributed to teachers of the junior high schools after their counterparts in the senior high schools in the region were said to have received theirs. The Ghana Education Service is assuring a lot is being done by government to shore up the ICT infrastructure in the country's schools. Reporting for Joy News, Richard Kwejanyako, Cape Coast.
Doctors are calling for space and logistics for the treatment of cancer patients in our hospitals. The call comes as the world marks Cancer Day today under the theme Close the Care Gap. Dr. Jim Mensah of the Confanoche Teaching Hospital Cancer Unit says the day should remind us of hospitals that are currently overwhelmed with the numbers and mount pressure on state actors to provide the required attention for cancer care.
Some conversations went on, and then some cancers, common cancers in children like the leukemia, the lymphomas, and some cancer of the kidneys. There were talks that it will be put on national health insurance. You know, in Ghana, everything takes a while, so I'm sure it's in the pipeline, but as of now, it's yet to be on the national health insurance scheme. But I know it was approved to be put on. I mean, on a day like this, all we can say is that we ask that the government facilitates national health insurance scheme.
All right,
so talks are yet to come to reality.
All right, so aside from investment and calling to action, what are some of the challenges you are facing at the cancer unit?
Okay, so on a typical clinic day, when you come, I mean, if you haven't been there before, the first thing that will strike you is that these are a lot of patients in a small area.
Okay.
So we don't have Confanoche where we work. Now we have a lot of patients. I think last year we actually saw about 100 to 150 new cases.
Yeah.
And then we already have our old patients. And so the place is crowded. It's too small to accommodate the number of patients we are dealing with. That's one of them.
Okay.
Number two is the skill getting from our government.
Okay.
But actually ensure sustainability in any program, it should be something that the government is taking up, or the main stakeholders in the particular country is taking up. But it's not so with us. However, we have quite a number of people, doctors and nurses who have been trained by World Child Cancer to help manage these children. But it would be better if the government was taking training of doctors up, training of doctors who are skilled in delivering cancer treatment. If it takes it up, it would be better, because then you have more people getting into such training. So I'm basically saying that the number of people who treat children with cancer is not adequate.
Year-old physically challenged who uses his mouth to carry a bucket fration, Wahab Kadir suffered paralysis in both legs and found himself in an unfriendly environment. But he's struggling off the stigma and neglect associated with his condition at home and school to live his dream of becoming a professional footballer. My colleague Ohim Interior visited the Pandai home of Wahab and now reports.
We pity him, but we are now used to him. Those outside may see it to be sad because we are with him in the house. So it's normal now for us.
Those are the words of Sakibu Shaibu, an uncle of Wahab Kadri, a physically challenged boy. He aspires to be a footballer. He had already on a Saturday morning. Wahab has both legs and feet twisted and wasted as a result of a tumor he suffered at age 7. He crawls as he does his daily house chores, including washing. Wahab is used to using his nose. His relatives admit they no longer pity his condition.
We have nothing to do, just hoping for the best. Though we feel sad for what has happened, but at the end we can't blame God. God has done it.
Condition after his parents failed to raise enough funds to treat 2 deadly tumors in his anus. The once abled boy likened to former Black Stars player Agugu, now crossed around the home as he battling the ailment. Not to ride his old but wretched tricycle, donated by some philanthropists years back on the streets of Pandai.
This is my first time of seeing such a person on the clip. So I'm actually amazed at seeing such a person for the first time.
Wahab has never benefited from any government intervention. The District Social Welfare Director, Joseph Isifu, said, bench persons, a few days before my visit. According to him, Wahab could benefit from the Disability Fund and the Livelihood Empowerment Program if he is recommended by the Assemblyman.
3% of this disability fund for people with disability, is there. The program which are targeting for these people to be on livelihood. Just last week, the Assembly Disability disbursed some money to them, bring them out of the streets, and they will be self-reliant and self-dependent with this money. So, of which that we identify him, make a request, and Assembly support.
Faced with stigma and discrimination, especially at school. This is contrary to Section 4 of the Disability Act, passed in 2006.
He has been complaining bitterly. Sometimes when that happens, because of his physical challenge, maybe they feel that it's not which affects his learning.
Stigmatization and sometimes abuse of people living with disabilities are common in the Pandai district. For instance, it took the intervention of Joy News to save a girl born without arms and labeled a river baby from being killed. Joseph Isifu says it is criminal.
Disability is unfortunate. It's not the fault of theirs that they are disabled. And so if they are living with the able people, we have to accept them. Sensitization is ongoing, so that the people who discriminate will now see them as part and parcel of them. Actual discrimination against them is a crime. It's not supposed to be so.
Computer is an electronic device.
Despite the abuse and stigma, Wahab is braving the storm to live his dream of becoming productive. His favorite subjects are core science and ICT. His academic brilliance and ability to dismantle and assemble mobile phones.
It has not been bad. He's been very good in class. In terms of examination, he performs, which the whole student body and the staff are aware.
With me Passikama, with me second, third, fourth, Agromuso, Omuboma Suno, with me Shego. We Cecilia would do for manual, but Yanwa went me your phone.
Despite lacking any source of help, Wahab is optimistic he will succeed in becoming the best footballer. Whilst using his hand, he plays football with other children who have no physical deformities.
Football is my future. Because the time that I'm working, they are on and I started playing my football. Now, I hope that it's okay. That's my future.
Boss in the place no bono who say we are for kra we yere no so nunca sai wona kuma mo say o mo ball no bi nti ama tembia no o mo wo match say yeko Surya
Source of Hope, a non-governmental organization working to provide in the Pandai district, has adopted Wahab. The organization has rolled out a project which identifies, nurtures and trains children in that deprived area to live their dreams through reading, ICT education, among others. Dr. Opokuya Osei-Yeboah is president of the organization.
We are dedicated to help uplift him to where he wants to be. And so we have core children that we've identified as part of different clubs. So the reading club, the ICT club, and Wahab is actually one of the children that was selected for the ICT club.
Persons like Wahab are eager to succeed, but that can only be achieved when society supports their dreams. From Pandai in the northern region for Joy News, Wahime Teria reporting.
And news just in, second D, Takrady MC, who was involved in that brawl with a police officer, has just been suspended. More in our subsequent bulletins on this one. You recall that the police officer was preventing him from what he calls, all right, so this is a statement that has been released by the minister, Daniel Boche, the local government minister. It reads, on the instructions of the President, the Metropolitan Chief Executive for Secondary Takrady Assembly, Mr. Abdul Mumin Isa, has been suspended from office with immediate effect pending an inquiry into the encounter with the police on February 3, 2022. Without prejudice to the matter now before court, government takes a very dim view of the comments made by the Metropolitan Chief Executive during his exchanges with the police. The comments by the Chief Executive ran contrary to the government's belief and work to ensure that our security agencies and indeed public agencies are resourced, empowered and accorded the respect to deliver on their mandates. In the interim, the Honorable Western Regional Minister Kwabena Ochuri Dakumensa has been assigned additional supervisory. So other stories, government has launched the National Chocolate Week under the theme, Eat Chocolate, Stay Healthy, Grow Ghana. This year's celebration has been extended from a day's activity to an activity-filled week-long program. The Ghana Tourism Authority is hopeful of high patronage of chocolate consumption this year. Here's Mausi Numon's report read to you.
The National Chocolate Week was originally established in 2005 to coincide with Valentine's Day, which falls on the 14th of February every year. The celebration is aimed at increasing local consumption of Ghanaian chocolate and other cocoa-based products. Speaking at the launch of the 17th edition of the National Chocolate Week celebration at the Tetekwashi Cocoa Farm in Akwapi Mampong on Thursday, Information Minister Kojo Nkrumah outlined an array of activities to be carried out throughout the week, starting this Saturday, February 5, 2022.
This year's activities will be highlighted by, first of all, a health walk on Saturday, the 5th of February, from Aimensa to the Pediase Lodge. On Tuesday, the 8th of February, which would hallmark the opening of the Chocolate City at the Tete Kwashi Roundabout in Accra, and the Chocolate City at the Rattray Park in Kumasi. On Wednesday, the 9th of February, there will be a poetry night at the Chocolate City in Accra and the Chocolate City in Kumasi. On Thursday, the 10th of February, there will be a cook-off competition and an old school night at the Chocolate City in Accra and in Kumasi. On Friday, the 11th of February, we will have the opportunity to engage a lot of basic school students and treat them to performances at the Chocolate City in Accra and Kumasi. But on Saturday, the 12th of February, we're inviting families to join us at the Chocolate City in Accra and the Chocolate City in Kumasi. Sunday, the 13th of February, there will be health talks on the benefits of cocoa, which will be carried live on a number of media platforms for the benefit of the broader Ghanaian public. Monday, the 14th of February, which is what Ghanaians traditionally and many people around the world call Valentine's Day, will represent, and we want to encourage all that no matter what you are buying for your loved one, do well to include at least a bit of some chocolate there. And we encourage that you visit the Tetekwashi Roundabout and the Rattray Park in Kumasi and be part of the Chocolate City setups that you will find there.
Deputy Minister for Tourism, Arts and Culture, Marco Krikomante, enumerated some of the health benefits of cocoa and cocoa-based products as he shared his personal experience.
Cocoa has been underrated by many Ghanaians, irrespective of its support to our economy, and then the health benefits that the world has identified. Cocoa powder has been identified by research to help reduce inflammation and can protect one from diseases such as heart disease, cancer, and diabetes. I will also, on behalf of the President, plead with you all to eat chocolate.
We'll take a break on News Today. We'll bring you more in business shortly. In the country to triple investments made in 2021. This was disclosed by the South African High Commissioner to Ghana, Grace Mason, at the annual general meeting of the Ghana-South Africa Business Chamber. According to her, plans are underway to begin an outreach investment mission at Tamale in the northern region in March this year.
Ghana represents the major export market for South African goods after Nigeria. Some of the South African companies investing in Ghana include MTN. Standard African High Commissioner to Ghana, Grace Mason, revealed the plans are underway to increase investments in Ghana.
The post-COVID recovery endeavors has prompted our governments to approve an outward trade investment mission to Ghana. And this we envisage will take place, Mr. President, between the 22nd to the 25th of March. We have also recommended that this outward mission and investment mission should be held in one of the regions, and we had recommended the northern region, Tamale, as we have been actively conducting our regional economic profiling of Ghana. Discussions I had with Minister Patel on the margins of the ministerial and had committed that we envisage to continue and to leverage as well, and that we will even double the current trade trajectory that exists between South Africa and Ghana. And we will even by 2023 triple the current trade trajectory that exists between our two nations.
President of the Ghana-South Africa Business Chamber, Grant Weber.
From a business point of view, we have to build on the promises and the remarks that were made on the state visit in December by Cyril Ramaphosa and his delegation. There were memoranda of understanding signed in agriculture and across other industries. So we've got some big targets that have been set for us, and we need to deliver on those. So I think we're delighted that a platform's been put in place during that state visit, and we now need to perform and deliver as stated there.
Be it for business on Joy News Today. We'll take a break.
Before we do world news, let's do some sports now with me, Muftau Nabila Abdullah. Communications Director of the Ghana Football Association, Harry Asante Chum, has explained the position of the football governing body in relation to the appointment of a new Black Stars coach. According to him, the FA wants someone who understands the players and can lead the team in the World Cup.
At least Odiebecha sa 2 headers no. Then we look for a long-term plan.
Okay, Germany no.
It is to engage the club first of all.
Okay.
Said on my access to get to talk to the man.
Okay.
You not say club no G2, then you come back and speak to the ministry.
Okay.
Because you cannot go to the ministry and say make a coach about when you have not engaged Nipana Okofanabano.
Okay.
Especially when you also do say Nipana Okofanabano is under contract.
Okay. But yes, we take a decision to go to Germany no.
Yeah.
When you former minister answer Keteko.
Could you?
Is the minister aware say?
Could you?
Germany.
There are processes.
Okay.
Just as a committee was put in place to look for a coach to replace CK Akono.
Okay.
It's the same process NIA go through. Now, until you have a confirmation sort of, you can't go to the ministry because to me in ministry in France applying because Adrian Mafani ultimate kwaba No, you can't do that. You can only go with the ministry with a substantive information.
Okay.
In your hand, say, ministry steps I'm taking in here. Mako, may engage in pano, or say obeba.
Okay.
Nemo oba ne times in here.
Okay.
Into was a trust in the that is when you engage the ministry.
Okay.
But also I can call ministry or only share or ministry because you must engage the ministry. It doesn't happen that way.
Okay.
This is what will happen at the Accra Sports Stadium when Accra House of Oak comes up against Great Olympics. Kumasi and Santokoro, they will be in action on Monday as they travel to Elmina to face Elmina Sharks. That's your sports for now on Joy News Today with me, Muftau Nabila Abla. You can head on to myjoyonline.com and read some more sports stories. Up next is World News.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Showbiz here on Joy News Today. Now, dancehall artist Shatta Wale is the latest person to add his voice to the controversial e-levy conversation. According to Shatta Wale in a viral video, government should stop acting as if they own the country and be sensitive to the suffering of Ghanaians before trying. Now, actress Yvonne Nelson says that even though the Ghana movie industry needs funding, she will not sit and wait for investors to provide support before embarking on a project. In an interview with KMJ on Joy Prime Showbiz Now, she said that she will continue to fund her projects and hope the industry gets the needed boost it deserves. On that note, we end Showbiz here on Joy News Today. My name is Becky. Over to you, Aisha.
Of course, and that's how we wrap up the bulletin this afternoon. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Many thanks for watching. For more news, log on to myjoyonline.com. Enjoy the rest of our programs.